person, as Eke also said, I went to Enugu campus for my law school. Today is actually one of the best days in my life. Really overwhelmed, like I'm filled with excitement. I really don't even know how to express it. I'm just really overwhelmed.
I'm a bit Sebastian Shortman. I'm from a private state, of course, and I went to Lagos campus. And I must say that Lagos campus, of course, is the most stressful campus to be at, but yet it's worth being there because you are going to learn a lot. Today, as you can see, I am quite happy and excited that finally, after a journey of 8 years, is it 8 years or more? So finally we arrived here. So I and my friends are very glad to be here, and we're thankful to God. Thumbs up.
By the powers conferred on me as the Secretary of the Honorable Body of Benchers, I call the House to order and welcome the Chairman and Honorable Benchers to this unique occasion of the December 2022 Call to Bar ceremony. May I also take the opportunity to felicitate with parents, guardians, and well-wishers, as well as friends of the applicants here present and those viewing the live coverage of this Call to Bar ceremony. May I now, with the leave of the Chairman Body of Benchers, call on the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education to step forward to report on the state of readiness of the applicants for call. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Benchers leave is hereby granted as
Mr. Chairman, the students of Nigerian Law School who have successfully completed their training and passed the bar final examination conducted by the Council of Legal Education are ready for presentation to the Body of Benchers for call to the bar. May I, respectfully, Mr. Chairman, seek leave to call on the Director General of Nigerian Law School, Professor Issa Hayatu Chiroma, SAN DSSRS, to present the report and to summon the applicants for call to appear before the honorable benches.
Benchers leave is hereby granted as brief.
As it pleases the chairman.
The Chairman of Body of Benchers, Chief Wale Olanipekun, CFR, OFR, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Live Bencher, the Vice Chairman of Body of Benchers, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, JSC, CFR, Live Bencher, the immediate past Chairman of Body of Benchers, Boderos Vibo, JSC, CFR, Live Bencher, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukai de Oriola, GCON Live Bencher, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, CON, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Live Bencher, Past Chairman of Body of Benchers, the Chairman of Council of Legal Education, Chief Emeka Ngige, OFR, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, distinguished and honorable members of the Body of Benchers, honorable justices and grand caddies here present, the President of Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Y.C. Michael, ON, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Director General of the Gambian Law School, Mrs. Rogi Tomasi, members of the Inner and Outer Bar, distinguished senators, honorable members of Federal House of Representatives, executive governors here present, our royal fathers, proud parents, guardians, and relations, ladies and gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this solemn and memorable ceremony for the admission to the Nigerian Bar of successful candidates at the August-September 2020 bar final examination conducted by Nigerian Law School under the supervision of the Council of Legal Education. I sincerely congratulate all the successful candidates for their hard work and dedication, the joyous reason of our presence here today. To all the proud parents and relations, I convey warm felicitations on the remarkable success of these candidates, who in a short time will become the new wings of the Nigerian Bar and proud members of our noble profession. As expected, let me at this auspicious occasion on behalf of the Council of Legal Education, management, staff and students of the Nigerian Law School, invite you all to share in the success and joy of these candidates we are celebrating today. No doubt, the renewed lawyering skills, knowledge acquired, and expressed by our soon-to-become new wigs brings great joy to the entire Nigerian Law School community. Establishment of the Council of Legal Education and Nigerian Law School. The Council of Legal Education was established by the Legal Education Act 1962 to provide vocational training for law graduates aspiring for call to the Nigerian Bar. The Nigerian Law School, which is the training arm of Council of Legal Education, is a multi-campus institution with headquarters in Abuja and campuses in Lagos, Enugu, Kano, Yenagoa, Yola, and the newly commissioned Port Harcourt campus. From these locations, we train over 6,000 students annually. Continuing progress at the Nigerian Law School. Again, as reported previously, we have continued to leverage from the achievements of our past teachers and leaders. Today, the Nigerian Law School has had to sustain its enviable growth and development for nearly 6 decades to the admiration of many. The importance of Nigerian Law School in manpower training and development for our country cannot be overemphasized, particularly in aspect of administration of justice and sustenance of rule of law. It is crystal clear that from inception, the Nigerian Law School has been solely responsible for the vocational and practical training of university graduates for admission to the Nigerian Bar. From its humble beginning in 1963, with 8 students at its one-block campus at 213A, Igboshere Road, Lagos, the Nigerian Law School has grown to a 7-campus institution spread across the country with yearly intake of well over 6,000 students. This is a testimony to the healthy astronomical growth, not just of the institution, but also in the legal profession. In about 60 years of its existence, the school has had uninterrupted session, as there has never been any incident of closure of the institution on account of students' unrest, strike action by staff, or for any other reason. The Nigerian Law School has contributed to the training of an entire arm of government, as the judiciary. It is a tribute to the school that all judges of the course in Nigeria, including the present Chief Justice of the Federation, are products of Nigerian Law School. Likewise, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, all state attorneys general and commissioners for justice, and law officers serving in their chambers are all products of Nigerian Law School. It is also significant to note that the large number of members of other tiers of government in the country are products of the school. The school has also contributed to the training of legal manpower for our sister African countries, like the Republic of the Gambia, Republic of Sierra Leone, and the Republic of Cameroon. A number of countries from the East and West Africa have visited law school to solicit information and assistance on the establishment and development of law school in their various countries. The president of the school have commanded presence in other spheres of public and private sector, such as the military, police, customs, immigration, the oil and gas sector, banking and finance, insurance, and the corporate world in general, professors, lecturers in the university, and other tertiary institutions. Some of these products have achieved profound feat of getting to the top of their own career, nationally and across the border. Brief report on the academic excellence and physical infrastructural development at the Nigerian Law School. The Nigerian Law School under our watch has witnessed and expressed more positive transformations in the area of academics, better administrative and physical infrastructural development. Again, of course, building on past achievement and legacies. The Nigerian Law School headquarters and campuses have equally witnessed in the period under review new constructions, renovations, and remodeling of many structures and buildings that hitherto continue to suffer serious neglect on account of poor budgetary allocations. It is no longer news that we have achieved and still making the difference, largely due to the prudent use of very lean resources at our disposal and through the gracious interventions of good-spirited Nigerians, organizations, and other concerned stakeholders. Major interventions and big stories. History was made on Friday, November 18, 2022, when a campus named after the former Attorney General of the Federation and former Chairman of Council of Legal Education, Dr. Navajo Graham Douglas, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was officially commissioned and handed over to the Council of Legal Education by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, thus making it the seventh campus of the Nigerian Law School. As reported in my last address to you, to your distinguished body, the big story is, which is today, a testament of promise made and fulfilled, came to light when the federal government received the request from the government of Rivers State to build, equip, and hand over a brand new campus of the Nigerian Law School to the Council of Legal Education. This kind request, so granted and conveyed through the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, has now produced this magnificent and ultra-modern edifice of world-class standard. If you permit me, I will refer it as the best law school campus in Nigeria and even in the African continent. We cannot thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of, and people of Rivers State enough for this proactive and progressive intervention. Kindly recall also that the government of Rivers State, under the leadership of His Excellency, Nyesom Wike, CON, also graciously approved the construction of some critical projects for the Navajo campus of Nigerian Law School. The projects include: 1, a 1,500 seating capacity auditorium, a multipurpose hall; 2, 2 900 bed space male and female hostels. I am happy to report to this very important assemblage that those projects that were flagged up by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, on Friday, the 4th of June, 2021, at the Nigerian Law School Navajo campus, Bayelsa State, are now at various stages of completion. These interventions are indeed gratifying and cause for celebration. We thank most profoundly Mr. President and Governor of Rivers State, as well as the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, for making this possible. Just recently, precisely on the 30th of June 2022, the class of 1986 of Nigerian Law School commissioned and handed over a brand new, ultra-modern twin moot court built by the class at the Nigerian Law School headquarters, Buhari. May I also report that an illustrious member of that class, His Excellency Deputy Senate President, Senator Obi Omo-Agege, offered to replicate what the class has done on behalf of the class. Work has commenced at the same location for the second phase of that project. May I also use this medium to thank and appreciate our other benefactors for their kind interventions and firm belief in the Nigerian Law School Renewal Project. May God continue to reward your kind interventions and assistance. Proposed Diamond Jubilee celebration of the Nigerian Law School. It is no longer news that effective January 2023, by the grace of God, that our premier and only institution with the sole mandate of vocational training of law graduates in Nigeria will be 60 years, You will all agree with us that this is a great feat and cause for celebration. Pursuant to above, the Council of Legal Education has proposed a Diamond Jubilee celebration and constituted relevant committees to professionally mark these great achievements. Details of these activities with programs as well as invitations will be communicated to all as soon as possible. Presentation of the August-September 2022 bar final examination result. General performance. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of Body of Benchers, I will be presenting at this call to bar ceremony a total of 4,691 candidates who were successful at the August-September 2022 bar final examination, and 20 candidates from the previous call. I am happy to report on the good performance recorded by the candidates as seen in the executive summary below. General performance. Total number of students who participated in the examination were 5,802. Total number of successful candidates, 4,691. These figures translate into 80.81% success at the final bar examination. I wish to assure all of you that we shall remain the gatekeepers of our noble profession. As teachers and administrators, we will continue to uphold the standards and the integrity of the bar. To the new weeks, I sincerely congratulate our candidates for call to the bar today. I also felicitate with their parents, guardians, and their relations on being part of this memorable and auspicious occasion. No doubt, today is a day of great joy for you all, having come this far in realizing your dreams of becoming members of this noble profession of law. My prayers for you all is that the Almighty God will grant you all rewarding career at the bar. I enjoin you to make the best of the legal profession, since it is your own free will to belong to it. You must also ensure strict adherence to its norms and ethics. We wish you the best for the future. Sincere appreciation. May I at this time respectfully seek the leave of Mr. Chairman and distinguished members of Body of Benchers to thank our supervisory ministry, the Federal Ministry of Justice, headed by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, CON, for the support always given to us as an institution. May I welcome and thank the Director General of the Gambian Law School, Mrs. Rogi Tomasi, for visiting Nigeria purposely to attend this call to bar ceremony. We appreciate this visit, and we are sure it will strengthen the existing relationship between our law schools. The same appreciation goes to Chairman and members of the distinguished Body of Benchers for their constant support and encouragement. I must also mention the Secretary of the distinguished Body of Benchers, headed by the Secretary, Daniel M. Taylor, Esquire, for his cooperation with us at all times. Finally, with all sense of duty and responsibility, I wish to commend the excellent work ethics of the academic and non-academic members of the Nigerian Law School, who work tirelessly and most times beyond call to duty to ensure that the task of producing legal manpower needs of our country is sufficiently attained. Affirmation of character and learning. The distinguished Chairman of Body of Benchers, sir, distinguished members of Body of Benchers, may I now present to you the aspirants here assembled this afternoon for call to the Nigerian Bar. They wish to and are eligible to become members of the learned and noble profession of law. They have successfully completed the vocational training at the Nigerian Law School as prescribed by the Legal Education Act. They have all taken the prescribed examinations as well as the dining terms and met all the required conditions set by the Council of Legal Education. I am happy to affirm that they all exhibited good manners and decorum during their training. They have also been groomed in the ethics and ethos of our own noble profession, together with other academic and non-academic members of staff of the Nigerian Law School. I've closely monitored these aspirants during their training, and I've watched for each and every one of them as men and women of learning and character, as demanded by your august body. The screening committee of your distinguished body has carefully perused the records of each and every aspirant and found them worthy to be presented for call to the Nigerian Bar. I attest that they are fit and proper persons for call and admission to the Nigerian Bar. Mr. Chairman, may I respectfully and in my own honor present to the distinguished body of benchers the following 4,711 from the total of least qualified applicants for call to the bar at this ceremony. Thank you for the privilege and God bless.
By the powers conferred on the body of benches by Section 3, Subsection 1 of the Legal Practitioners Act, and by the powers conferred on me as chairman of the body of benches by Regulation 16 of the body of benches Regulation 1983, I hereby admit each and every one of the applicants standing here this afternoon, present all of you severally to the bar as barrister and solicitors of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. You may now put on your wigs.
Mr. Chairman, sir, may I respectfully invite you to deliver your address and your charge to the new weeks. Mr. Chairman, sir.
My dear learned friends, we all witness how excited you are when we pronounce you as fit and proper persons to be admitted to the Nigerian bar, and also ask you to put on your wigs. May no one spoil your joy. Can you resume your seats? The Vice Chairman of the Body of Benches, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, CFR, Live Bencher. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Orika Odiariwola, GCON, Live Bencher. He was with us in the morning, and by the grace of God, he will be with us tomorrow. Past Chairman of the Body of Benches, former Chief Justices of Nigeria who are here, Live benchers and benchers, Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, CON, SAN, the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, Chief Emeka Ngige, OFR, SAN, President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Yakubu Mikiawu, ON, SAN, my successor in office as President of the NBA, in absentia, Honorable judges and caddies, distinguished members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, members of the Inner and Outer Bar, the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Professor Isa Hayatu Shiroma, SAN, Your Highnesses, proud parents and guardians. I see some of our learned friends here, and some of our chief judges, some of our colleagues whose sons and daughters and wards are being called to the bar. I recognize the presence of the former Secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mrs. Seudua. The new weeks, allied and friends, ladies and gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and excitement that I, on behalf of the body of benchers, here in Attack called the body, welcome you all to this historic occasion of the call of new entrants to the Nigerian Bar. We all rejoice with our new colleagues who will now address us, our learned friends, on this dawn, which marks a fulfillment of their dreams to join the noble and honorable profession of law. We are all enjoined to rejoice with those who are rejoicing and celebrate with those who are celebrating. Thus, we join ourselves with you in communion of prayers, not just in rejoicing, but also in celebrating the landmark achievement of today. An achievement which has not come in a jiffy, but spanned a period of between 5 to 6 years of extensive and in-depth learning and research. The first 5 years of which were spent in your respective universities, where you are subjected to learning the theories and principles of law on different subjects, including but not limited to constitutional law, law of torts, law of contract, criminal law of evidence, jurisprudence, land law, administrative law, Nigerian legal system, labor law, oil and gas, environmental law, international law, communication law, etc. While the last 1 year has been spent at the Nigerian Law School, under the tutelage of highly qualified and experienced legal minds who took you through the practical and some theoretical aspects of the law, and during which time, as well, some leading members of the profession have come to deliver lectures to you on topical issues, touching on both adjectival and procedural aspects of law. Through this last year as well, you have been made to partake in the compulsory dining rites during which you met with leaders of the body of benchers, who after each dining session gave you some pep talks on the hidden secrets and traditions of the profession and profound ways of success to you. The Council of Legal Education conducted your bar final examinations and adjudged you academically qualified to be called to the Nigerian Bar. Thereafter, submitting your names to the body of benchers, being the only body with the prerogative of admitting you to the bar for scrupulous screening in order to ensure that each and every one of you is indeed a fit and proper person to be admitted to the Nigerian Bar. The screening committee of the body, under the traditional statutory chairmanship of the vice chairman, met and painstakingly screened each and every one of you, look into your certificates and forms filled by you before recommending you to the body for consideration for call to the bar. Traditionally as well, the body met on Monday, 5th December 2022, yesterday, considered the report of the screening committee and approved same, pursuant to which the final decision was taken that you should all be called to the bar today. I am not unaware of the fact that all this while, it's been a period of anxiety for you and your parents. First, when you were awaiting your results from the Nigerian Law School, and later, when you were eagerly expecting the outcome of the report of the screening committee and subsequent decisions of the body of benchers as to your being adjudged fit and proper to be called to the bar. Having gone through these painstaking labyrinths, and immediately before now, having been admitted to the bars, barristers and solicitors, and directed you to put on your wigs, one could only imagine the depth of your ecstasy, as well as the fulfillment of your parents and guidance on this beautiful day. I extend hearty and most sincere congratulations and best of wishes to you and your parents as I formally address you as my learned friends. The body of benchers. Although it is now common knowledge, or should have been taken for granted, that the body of benchers is a creation of statutes As Section 3 of the Legal Practitioners Act specifically, subsection 1 thereof provides that, and I read, there shall be a body of legal practitioners of the highest distinction in the legal profession in Nigeria to be known as the body of benchers, which shall be responsible for the formal call to the bar of persons seeking to become legal practitioners. It's become necessary, in view of recent misconceptions about what the body represents, and a misconception which is still ongoing, even as we are calling you and as we assemble in this hall. It is time, in view of recent misconceptions, how it is constituted, how this body is constituted, its jurisdiction, the way and manner it is run and managed, to briefly recap, even for the opting time, and for record purposes, and for the knowledge of teeming members of the public in and out of this hall, including those who are glued to the television, watching you, watching us, what the body represents, what it does not do, as well as its powers and jurisdiction. Statutorily, the body is made up of the Chief Justice of Nigeria and all justices of the Supreme Court, the President of the Court of Appeal and all presiding justices of the divisions of the Court of Appeal in Nigeria, the Attorneys General of the Federation and the states, the Chief Judges of all the high courts in the state, including the Federal Capital Territory, President of the Nigerian Bar Association, the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, 30 legal practitioners representing the bar, live benchers, and such number of persons not exceeding 10 who appear to the body to be eminent members of the legal profession in Nigeria of not less than 15 years post-call standing. Not less than a person than the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, graphically summarized the unique nature of the composition of the body when he is addressed at the official commissioning of the Body of Benchers Complex on 29 September 2022, and thus, and I quote Mr. President, I consider this body as critical to the legal profession. I say this because the membership of the body cuts across all spaces of the government and legal profession, particularly the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and the bar. Furthermore, all justices of the Supreme Court, retired justices of Nigeria who are alive, President of the Court of Appeal and presiding justices, Chief Justice of the High Courts, the Federal and States, Attorneys General, Chairman of the judiciary committees in the two houses of the National Assembly, leading members of the bar, and others constitute this body. I am unaware of any other institution or organ in the legal profession that draws its membership from all segments of the profession like the body of benchers. No wonder the statute describes it as consisting of men of the highest distinction in the legal profession. My dear learned colleagues, just let me pause and direct your attention to the eggheads of our profession, to the potentates, to the beautiful ones of the profession, to those who have reached the zenith of the profession in different categories, whether on the bench, at the bar, in the corporate world, in academics, and whatever, who are seated here. They are represented here this afternoon. And in the morning, they were all here. May I appreciate all members who are here because for your painstakingness, for your diligence, for your love for our profession. We thank God for the gathering of this afternoon. And amongst them, I've earlier mentioned the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria. He was here in the morning. He'll be here tomorrow. And by the grace of God, be one of those who will distribute or hand over the prizes to those who have performed so excellently well in the academics at the Nigerian Law School. We have the Vice Chairman. Those of you who are ladies, you pray that you one day be like her. And this one we have Mary Peter Odili, CFR, retired Justice of the Supreme Court, life bencher. This hall we are in is named after a woman like you, Harriet Balogun Hall, the first woman chairman of the body of benchers. And there is another woman secretary, pioneer secretary of the body of benchers, who is a live bencher, Mrs. Turaki. We have my Lord, Mahmoud Mohammed, former Chief Justice of Nigeria. For every one of our events, of our meetings, he will always be present. He's here because of you, to call you to the bar. You are very lucky. In the morning, we have Justice Begore. He will be here tomorrow, former Chief Justice of Nigeria, former chairman of the body of benchers, live bencher. We have Walter Onoge, former Chief Justice of Nigeria, GCON, live bencher, and former chairman of this body. He was here in the morning, he will be here tomorrow morning. We have Justice Suleiman Galadima. We have Adamu Galinje, retired Justice of the Supreme Court. We have Abdul Aboki, GSC, retired. We have my Lord Justice Okoro. We have Ikeyi, PJ Port Harcourt, Judicial Division of the Court of Appeal. We have Justice Gumel. We have Mbaba of Kano. We have Agbo of Calabar. We have Bamidele Okoyemi Bamidele, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. And we have his colleague in the House of Reps, Onofik Luke, and a host of others. They are here this afternoon to join you at celebrating this new dawn, this new day, this beautiful day. Can you clap for yourselves? Now, I've told you what the body of benchers has been. It was set up in 1961 with 16 pioneer members. Since then, it has produced 49 chairmen, myself being the 50th one, by the grace of God. Under its regulations, and which said regulations were made pursuant to the provisions of the enabling statute, assumption to office of its chairman is always seamless, not contested, not controversial, not rancorous or uncertain. The term of office of the chairman is only 1 year, from March of the preceding year to March of the following year. And the position of chairmanship of the body is rotated between the bar and the bench. That is, if the member of the bar is the chairman, as I am now, the vice chairmanship automatically devolves on the bench, like the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, CFR, presently is. At the end of the tenure of the chairman, the vice chairman automatically transits to the position of chairman, thus by the grace of God. Come March 31, 2023, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odilio, CFR, shall assume office as chairman of the body, while I will transit to join the Committee of Elders as a past chairman. In the very sense of it as well, the position of vice chairman is also not contested, as precedence is meticulously adhered to. The program of events of today details the names of live benchers according to their seniority and precedence, and succession follows the same precedence as listed in the program. It is just a matter of formality that the name of the most senior live bencher is introduced by the bar, seconded by the bench, at the point of transition. God sparing our respective lives, every live bencher from the bar has an idea of when he or she is likely to assume office as the vice chairman of the body, a prelude to his or eventually becoming the chairman. It is a tradition that we met and has been sustained for years. We are proud to inform the world that our transition is always seamless and has never been rancorous. You know, those of you who are from the western part of Nigeria, you know the Olubadan chieftaincy title. You know, transition is always seamless. The person who will be Olubadan in the next 20 years knows himself. All he will be praying for is that, okay, may God spare his life. And may God also spare the life of the person who is there. Needless to add that the body of benchers is not an appendage of the federal government or any government, institution, or agency, or association, howsoever. It is an independent and autonomous body, and its meetings, affairs, and decisions are not influenced by any power or authority whatsoever. But let me quickly make the point that the body remains the highest body regulating the legal profession in Nigeria today. Let me also emphasize, at our meetings we have regulations. We have order. We have the way, we know the ways things will go. We follow precedents. We are like the Portuguese Parliament. We are very decent in our affairs. Items are listed. Notice will be given of topics to be treated. We cannot be pounced upon. You can't do that to these eminent jurists. And by the word jurists, I'm not talking of judges alone. Lawyers and judges and academics, we are all jurists. They are all here. And I repeat again, these are the potentates of the profession. They are not people you just talk to anyhow. You don't give order to them. You don't control them, either directly or remotely. It's never done. As for the jurisdiction of the body to discipline any lawyer, such is exercised through the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, which, although it's a committee of the body, is a juristic personality on its own, independent of the body, not controlled in any way or manner by either the body or its chairman, while its directions go directly to the Supreme Court on appeal, and the body exercises no appellate or supervisory jurisdiction over such directions. Howbeit, may I caution that proceedings before the LPDC should not be politicized, sensationalized, publicized, and advertised in advance of while the proceedings are ongoing by complainants for whatever reason howsoever. And so doing, negates the principle of fair hearing, which all lawyers subscribe to. This is apart from the fact that such steps might preempt and prejudice the proceedings and decisions of the LPDC. Efforts are ongoing at amending the Legal Practitioners Act in order to redress the looming gaps in the existing law relating to both the adjectival and procedural aspects of bringing hearing lawyers to book. The body of benchers from March 2022 to date. Here on the body, successive chairmen take over from and improve on the achievements of their predecessors. At this point, may I appreciate all my predecessors in office, both living and dead, and commend them for laying a very solid foundation for an equally formidable institution, which we are all proud of. As you are aware, this complex, that is, the body of benchers complex, was formally commissioned by Mr. President on 29 September 2022. In my speech on that occasion, I stated us. I quote, "I stand here on behalf of the body of benchers to applaud the tenaciousness of purpose, the potency of a mutual allegiance, and an unswerving audacity which dates back to several decades. The benchers complex, which has just been commissioned by Mr. President, is but a part of a unique blend of aspirations which took roots exactly 30 years ago. So much time, talents, and treasures have been invested into this edifice. And when I recall the very stretch of sacrifices made to the realization of this unique facility, my reaction is best captured in the words of the world-acclaimed bard, William Shakespeare, when he said, 'I can no longer answer, make but thanks, and ever thanks.' Once again, I appreciate the combined efforts of all my predecessors in office and the commendable contributions, both materially and otherwise, of all members of the body towards the realization of our dream at completing this magnificent edifice, which it pleased God to be commissioned during my tenure. In like manner, I congratulate most certainly all new entrants into the legal profession today for being the first set of lawyers to be called to the bar within this complex after its formal commissioning. Henceforth, all are called to bar ceremonies, meetings, seminars, and activities shall be held within this grand facility. At our meeting of 21st June 2022, we inaugurated a Judiciary Advisory Committee charged, amongst others, with the responsibilities of constantly interfacing with the members of the bench in order to take up their concerns and frustrations with appropriate authorities, and also to put in place an acceptable package, salary and welfare-wise, for judges of our Supreme Courts of record, comparing such packages or plus package with what operates in similar or some similar jurisdictions in the world. The committee embarked on its mandate in earnest and assiduously, then booked an appointment with the President on 28th July 2022. At that meeting, I drew to the attention of the President to the report of a committee which the federal government set up in 2018, but which report was not implemented. And I stated in these words: the committee is not unaware of the report of the Committee on the Review of Judicial Salaries and Conditions of Service set up by Mr. President government as far back as August 2018. But that report has not been implemented till now. In the interim, the body of benchers pleased with Mr. President to direct the implementation of the recommendations in the report in conformity with current economic realities, and in addition, direct the appropriate departments of government to look into the recent complaints of the justices of the Supreme Court with a view to urgently ameliorating the unfavorable conditions under which they perform their sacred constitutional functions. In response to my request, Mr. President immediately directed that the 2018 report be fed out and brought to him for study and implementation. In my address, during the opening of this complex on 29th September 2022, I enforced thus: may I publicly commend Mr. President's immediate response to our plea and on behalf of the judiciary on 28 July 2022. More particularly, Mr. President's apt response to my address when he enforced thus: that a democratic government like the one we operate, standing on a tripod comprising the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, cannot stand where one of the three pillars, the judiciary, is not properly nurtured, maintained, and sustained to deliver on its very pivotal constitutional duties. Mr. President further promised and directed that in the interim, the report and recommendations of the 2018 Committee on the Review of Judicial Salaries and Conditions of Service will be implemented. We eagerly anticipate the implementation of the said directive. And Mr. President responded thus: may I restate my commitment towards this ideal. In similar vein, have been intimated of the engagement of the consultants by the body through its Judiciary Advisory Committee to, amongst other things, come up with a peer review of the conditions of service of judicial officers in Nigeria with other countries and jurisdictions within and outside Africa. I honestly look forward to the completion of this peer review and the submission of recommendation, and this will assist us to review the welfare packages. Without any gainsaying, the initiative and efforts of the body of benchers and the commitment of Mr. President form the foundation and the very basis of the recent development toward the release and implementation of the 2018 report. However, may I use this opportunity to appreciate the Attorney General who stood by us, who cooperated with us, who ensured that he moved within the government departments, and the report has been fetched out and is now, according to government, will be implemented very soon. Following up on his mandate, the committee has engaged the services of the accounting firm of E&Y to work out the peer review earlier referred to, about a letter personally signed by me on 26 September 2022 to different stakeholders and relevant institutions, including heads of courts, attorneys general in the country, National Assembly, President of the Nigerian Bar Association, and identified legal practitioners who have shown interest in this subject. I pleaded with each of them to cooperate with the firm in carrying out its assignment. I'm happy to note that positive developments are rising from the humble initiative of the body, from different angles and quarters, including the Office of the Attorney General, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, and others, all informing us, among others, that the hitherto shared 2018 report has now been released and its implementation is ongoing. The E&Y is going on with this report or assignment, and this report will be ready very soon. Now, this question: is Nigeria overproducing lawyers? This question may seem rhetorical, but it's essential we address and face it at this point in time, or raise it as a poster, to enable us to have an insight into the variables for us to appreciate the issues at hand and profile solutions to them. In doing that as well, we need to graphically peek into the past 6 years to refresh our memories as to the number of lawyers churned out by us on a yearly basis as against the realities of the labor market. In July 2016, 2,259 lawyers were called to the bar. In November of the same year, 4,169 were admitted. In July 2017, 1,469 were called. In November of the same year, 4,297. In July 2018, we called 1,561. And in November of the same year, 4,779. In July 2019, 866 lawyers were called to the bar, while 4,459 were enrolled in November of the same year. Only 1,875 new entrants were called in September 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In July 2021, we called 5,215 lawyers to the bar. In July 2022, we called 1,504 to the bar, while this December, we are calling 4,711. In summary, between 2016 and 2022, we have produced 37,164 lawyers. For next year, in addition to the swelling number of qualified graduates from Nigerian universities who are to be admitted to the Nigerian Law School and subsequently called to the bar, we already have a backlog of 1,083 students from the National Open University of Nigeria who have since completed their remedial program and now awaiting the Bar Part 2 program. Since our common law derives its origin from the United Kingdom, and bearing in mind the fact that our entire legal and judicial system are similar to ours, let us quickly take a look, for the purpose of comparison, at the situation in the United Kingdom from 2017 to 2021. In 2017, the total number of solicitors and practicing barristers was 202,335. It increased to 209,464 in 2018, translating to 7,129 of new intakes of solicitors and barristers, and a 3.52 increase. The number rose to 216,724 in 2019, demonstrating an increase of 7,260 and a percentage increase of 3.47. The figure rose to 223,349 in 2020, a numerical increase of 6,625 and a percentage increase of 3.06. In 2021, the number rose to 230,428, an increase of 7,079, translating to 3.17% increase. While it will appear, especially, that Nigeria, in comparison with the United Kingdom, and in relation to our population, might not be overproducing lawyers, and why the population of Nigeria is about 4 times that of the United Kingdom. Empirical insight into the two economies will show that the United Kingdom churns out solicitors and barristers that are systematically proportionate to the growing demands of the economy and population. Same cannot be said of the Nigerian situation, where lawyers are produced irrespective of the harsh economic realities being faced and the capacity of the system to cater for them. To my mind, this situation should be of great concern to the leading stakeholders in the legal profession and the justice delivery sector. I have my serious doubt if our labor market absorbs about 20% of the lawyers being produced annually by us, meaning that about 80% of those new entrants are unabsorbed or unemployed on a yearly basis, taking our bearing conservatively from the past 6 years. During our time, and relatively thereafter, the economy was able to and ready to absorb all legal practitioners called to the bar by the body of benchers. But the situation has abysmally changed today. Therefore, we should appreciate the realization that there is a real threat to the profession and indeed to the entire system. Recently, the National Bureau of Statistics came out with a scary report that 133 million Nigerians out of an estimation of 216 million are poor. It is imperative for those of us who are leaders of the profession to find out how many legal practitioners are classified among these 133 million and work out the percentage of poor lawyers in the population based on the number of lawyers on the roll. A proper auditing in this wise will reveal a more escalating report in respect of poor lawyers in the country. What then do we do? The answer does not lie in the solution profiled or suggestion profiled by Shakespeare. That is, the first thing we do, let us kill all the lawyers. But for us to now soberly, honestly, diligently, painstakingly, sympathetically, and empathetically look into this gloomy situation, fashion out ways of addressing them, rather than engaging in very unproductive ventures, utterances, strife, and vituperations. Essentially, what we need and must embark on is mutual cooperation between all sectors of the profession and not mutual destruction. For those of us who think that we have made it because of what we are or we have arrived, we cannot continue to rest on our comfort zones, thinking that we are safe if and when these young ones we unleash into the unproductive system are not catered for. To my mind as well, we cannot continue to boast of our success if the successors, our successors, that is these young ones, continue to wallop in penury. May I therefore plead with senior lawyers all over the country to improve within their respective means the welfare packages of junior counsel in their chambers. It is not realistic for any counsel, whatever might be the newness or greenness of his or her wig, to be paid any wage equivalent to what the government terms minimum wage of 30,000 per month. Without being immodest, a UCOM member posted to any law office deserves more than that as a supplementary allowance. When I was president of the Nigerian Bar Association in 2022 to 24, we fashioned out a program. We divided the country into 4 zones: Lagos and Port Harcourt and Abuja, Ibadan, Enugu, Kano, Kaduna, and others. We pleaded with senior lawyers not to pay any junior lawyer anything minimum or lower than what we suggested. That is what we should do. We have serious problems in our hands. We should not, the little time we have should not be devoted to frivolity. We have to take care of these ones. I plead with members of the body of benchers. Let us put heads together. It is our profession. If any of these ones suffers, it is collective suffering for all of us. For a start, the body of benchers through its mentoring committee under the able chairmanship of Chief J.K. Gasama, WFRSAN, will be commencing a mentoring program for new entrants into the profession. As from the first quarter of 2023, the program, which will be both physical and virtual, will spread across all the 6 geopolitical zones, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. This innovation will offer insights into how new entrants to the bar can make a success out of the profession of law, irrespective of the challenging economy. It is not just tested and experienced lawyers that will be called upon to address new weeks at the program, but also captains of industry and other relevant professionals will be called upon to offer coordinate counseling on how lawyers can make a headway in life, particularly in Nigeria, notwithstanding the nuances of our economy. Proliferation of law school campuses. May we plead with the National Assembly to stop toying with the idea of promulgating laws or amending the Legal Practitioners Act to pave way for the proliferation of law school campuses, particularly around in their neighborhoods. It is within the exclusive prerogative of the Council of Legal Education, in consultation with the body of benchers, to establish new law school campuses. While I do not question the jurisdiction of the National Assembly to make laws as appropriate, law school campuses cannot be established without clearance from the Council of Legal Education. What we need now is improvement and upgrading of the existing law school campuses, using the newly commissioned Graham Douglas Law School Campus, Port Harcourt, built and equipped by the Rivers State government as a model. I dare say that it is the best in the country for now. Admonition. Irrespective of what the state of the economy, both municipally and globally might be, I admonish you to aim for the best, prepare to soar like the eagle. Look at the array of legal eggheads who have filed in to call you to the bar today. Amongst them are the very best and finest in the legal profession. In your mind's eyes, stretch your hands to them and make them points of contact. for your present and future, praying to God that in the nearest future, you will be like them or outgrow them. These points of contact of yours, we did that during our own time, and God answered our prayers. Our profession boasts and parades 3 key words: noble, honorable, and learned. Covet these flagship words in your endeavors, undertakings, and relationship with others. Act nobly in and out of court. Behave honorably in all your dealings with your colleagues and clients, as well as with the bench, for those of you who will end up in legal practice and those who will end up on the bench. Do not engage in strife, blackmail, mudslinging, campaign of calumny, treachery, or any attempt to run or pull anyone down. This is what is going on in our profession today. We didn't meet it that way. Flee from envy like a plague, for envy breeds hatred and unjustified contempt for others. Appreciate your colleagues and peers, as well as senior members of the profession who have received God's benevolence, and pray that your own time will come. For those of you who will be plunging into legal practice, I can assure you that it is a very rewarding venture, very entertaining, exciting, fulfilling, energizing. Nevertheless, avoid physical and verbal punches. Be resolute and committed in the defense and ventilation of the causes of your clients, whether in civil or criminal proceedings. Do not be swayed or distracted by some colleagues who may come to challenge or accuse you for defending a particular client or taking up any specific cause, which in their thinking is notorious. Display your learning by your robust and forensic submissions, both formal and oral, in the presentation and ventilation of your client's causes, and through informed essays, papers, articles in law journals and literatures, rather than dissipating energy on social media, petition writing to ventilate causes which you know nothing about. Be slow at commenting on matters and subjects, the particulars of which you are not seized, as this is becoming the unfanciful fashion nowadays. Put calls across to your colleagues to ask questions on issues relating to them rather than jumping into condemnation of others. When we were called to the bar, it was drummed into our psyche and consciousness that if you were given any instruction to institute an action against any lawyer, we should first and foremost reach out to that particular lawyer, apprise him of the subject, and hear his own side before going ahead with the particular instruction, although this was to be done after putting the client on notice and in confidence. We thought this tradition was codified, but later realized that it was rooted in the esprit de corps between lawyers who address themselves as learned friends and not learned foes. Show respect to the court, and by so doing, you're also respecting yourselves and the institution of the judiciary. Avoid being rude, naughty, haughty, or tardy in all situations and circumstances. Beware of committing contempt, whether in facie curiae or ex facie curiae. And when you address court, be polite, be humble. God hates haughty minds, but God elevates humble minds. Don't put your hand in your pocket while addressing a court. And some will even put their feet on the chair and be addressing the court. No, it is not done. You won't like it. You will not appreciate it. You feel bad if you are the one sitting on the bench and somebody else is treating you that way. Respect begets respect. To our noble laws and magistrates before whom these young ones will start appearing, please be patient with them and exercise your awesome power to commit for content sparingly. Most humbly, may I draw the attention of our honorable judges and magistrates to the encounter between one Miss Stone on one hand and Lord Denning and others on the other hand. On Miss Stone, on the refusal of our application, got so angry that she first threw a book case at the judges, which passed between Justice Diplock and Lord Denning, who did not say a word. She threw another which went wide, but they equally ignored her and she exclaimed, "I'm running out of ammunition." But the justices ignored her completely, forcing her to walk towards the door, saying to the judges, "I congratulate your lordships on your coolness under fire." Also, most humbly, I commend to our trial judges and magistrates the very calm example set by the Supreme Court in the celebrated case of Akon versus Fasasi, where a foremost revered counsel, a potentate, asked the court to give an assurance that he would not be biased against his client in a particular appeal, bearing in mind the court's earlier interlocutory decision in the proceedings of the previous day. Rather than getting upset, the court simply do that. To charge a court with bias is very serious. It's a very serious thing indeed. And to ask the court's assurance is more serious still. And then the court proceeded with the appeal. Some of you might end up in the private sector. I beseech you to always remember that you come from a noble and honorable profession. Let your nobility attend and attest to your programming of all your activities. To the programming of all your activities, legal advice, and submissions. Undoubtedly, a good number of you might venture into politics. And amongst you today, I can see future presidents, governors, senators, commissioners, representatives, ministers, et al. I know you are saying amen. So shall it be. May your entrance into politics be a game changer for Nigeria. It behoves me at this point to forthrightly prepare your minds for the inevitability of bumpy rides. Aspersions, tirades, general vicissitudes, and such other contingencies to which all humans are susceptible. These eventualities are of universal character, sparing no one, irrespective of illustriousness, nobility, pedigree, tribal or ethnic affiliations, religious inclinations, affluence, eminence, or dexterity. Yours faithfully is, of course, a living example. But you will always triumph, whatever might be any attempt, but behave well. Don't let them catch you. Be upright in your dealings. For those of you who are Christians, you know as a fact that Jesus Christ, Christ of God, the Bible describes him as going about doing good. Despite his humility, kindness, and numerous acts of goodness, demonstrated through healing the sick, raising the dead, was not only betrayed by one of his disciples, but later on sentenced to death on the cross in the hands of Pontius Pilate at the insistence of the riotous Jewish crowd who prayed for an amnesty for a notorious robber negotiating that for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. For our Muslim colleagues, you should never be oblivious of the fact that Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, despite his piety and righteousness, was outlawed by his tribesmen for doing nothing wrong. He was drenched in his own blood due to the injuries sustained from missiles cast at him in the valley of Taf by children to whom he had shown kindness. He was also poisoned by Kaiba, whom he had accommodated and shown unequaled kindness. That is life for you. But be assured that God will make you triumph over all the vicissitudes of life and crown your efforts with success. Conclusion. The legal profession is an ancient and prestigious one, wherein the nomenclature lawyer accords you a lot of respect instantly wherever you go or appear. One thing we notice is this. All lawyers don't go out to address themselves as barrister or lawyer. It is you young ones who are from now. Before saying John Robinson, you say, I'm lawyer, I am barrister. You want the prefix added. People around you will always want to test or taunt you about your learning. In actual fact, more particularly so in these days and times when law has become a global commodity. Your dressing and carriage should be neat and elegant, not riotous or notorious. Your celebration of today should always be moderate and not out of tune with the culture and the traditions of our profession. Do not go out half nude. And never send out scary photographs of yourselves. We saw this the last time we called lawyers to the bar in July. We are not pleased. And please, stop this habit. Adequately equip yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually for the challenges ahead from today. Needless reminding you of the need for you to embrace information communication technology. There is no better way for you to fall into the profession and its fortunes aside this route. I commend to you the bestseller titled The End of Lawyers, Asking Questions, Rethinking the Nature of Legal Services by that beautiful writer, Richard Susskind. It is a must-read for you and other lawyers. Even at my own level, I've read it several times. It provides numerous solutions and pathways to a lawyer's success in this age, where we work on the information superhighway. Can you be upstanding? By virtue of the powers conferred on me, as the chairman of the body of benchers, I've signed your call to bar certificates. It took me a long while to do that. It is a statutory duty which I have performed, and I assure you, those of you, I want to believe that all of you, you did learn law. I want to assure you that the certificates are yours in fee simple. Chairman's charge. In keeping with the time-honored tradition, I, as the chairman of the body of benchers, will now close this address with a charge to the newly called learned friends, thus: you may now go forth in your new wigs from this day forward to serve Nigeria and serve humanity in justice without fear of favor, affection, or ill will. Can you resume your seats? I thank you all for the audience. May the Almighty God keep and bless all of you and prosper your individual and collective enterprises.
By the order of the body of benchers, I now declare this call to bar ceremony closed. I enjoy all the new weeks to proceed to the Supreme Court for enrollment, please. But be sure you obtain your call to bar certificate. The order of recess after the national anthem shall be as follows. The benchers, the chairman and the benchers will file out first, followed by the academic and professional staff of the Nigerian Law School. The special guest here present, then the new weeks will file out last. Thank you and God bless you all.